Big one, big one, big one, big one, big one. Significantly bigger than the last two. Oh my gosh, dude. Big one, big one, big one. What is up, guys? It's Thomas Massa coming back at you with another WannaBOutdoors video. This week I'm going back to about 4 or 5 weeks ago when I went up to North Dakota to visit my girlfriend, and we went fishing at Nelson Lake up there in North Dakota, not too far from the Mandan, Bismarck area. Nelson Lake's an interesting lake. I've never fished a power plant lake before. I guess what that means, describe it real quick. So there's a power plant on the lake, and then the lake is the cooling pond for the power plant. So that being said, I mean, the water is warm. I mean, it was hot. We were there, must have been like last week in July or second to last week in July, something like that. I think it was the last week. And it was hot. It was like 85, 90 degree water. I mean, it was warm, really warm to the touch. So incredibly hot water. And it stays open all year round. So there is some giant bass in that lake. We managed to get on a little pattern and catch some decent fish. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Nice fish, nice fish. Really nice fish. Nice little bass. Let's go! Heck yeah, that's gotta be like, I don't know, little 1 pounder. Probably a 1 pounder. Gotta get a selfie since this is our first fish in North Dakota. Nice. Get a little release on, buddy. See if we can find a bigger one. That's a nice fish though. Heck yeah. On the square bill in the back current right there. Just as I was thinking, man, that looks like it's might hold fish, that back current right there. There's a point right here, a little back current out there. You can see where the waves are like getting killed by the current backing up on them. About the second or third rock I bounced off of back in there, he smoked it. I'm guessing we're gonna pick up another one off this point before we're done too, because they could be stacked up on here on something like that, on a pattern like that. Off the end of this little point here, because it seems like we've had two bites, caught one fish. Seems like there could be some fish stacked up in here. There's another one. There's another one on the square bill, or we can just keep hammering them on the square bill. Come on. Yeah, let's go. Let's go! Nice, another little, I don't know, 1 pounder. Quick release on him here. Back he goes. Big one, big one, big one, big one, big one. Significantly bigger than the last two. Oh my gosh, dude. Big one, big one, big one. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah! That's a good one there. That's a 3 all day. That's an all day 3-pounder, and he hammered that thing. They are stacked up on this point out here. Stacked up on it in that slack water right there. That's a good one right there. That is a good one right there. Oh, he got it good. These are good sharp hooks on this bait. Oh my gosh, look at that bass. Don't catch many of them at home that look like that. That's a healthy, healthy fish right there. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I didn't even bring my stuff with me. The truck's all the way back there. I've got one lure, one rod, no spares, no nothing. But I got what they want. And we are picking them up. That was a tank, dude. That's a nice fish. That was a really, really nice fish. This thing has got a giant rattle in it, and I'm sure that that's helping them locate it in this super murky water. Wow, and then I forget how to cast. Might have to find a different spot. Might have caught quite a few of them out of this spot. There's one. I can't figure out why they won't jump. I haven't had one jump yet. This one's not big. It's a decent little one though. Let's calm down there, bud. Okay, well, that's a release, I guess. Did he make it out? Just gonna hold him up so you guys could see him better, but he wanted to go, so gone he is. All right, guys, we're out here on Nelson Lake today, doing a little bit of bass fishing. This is a power plant heated lake, so the water in the summertime, now it's late July, is hot. It is really hot. We're throwing square bills. Maybe shouldn't be throwing moving baits, but there's a lot of rock. So when I think rock, I think square bill. A lot of guys are going to throw a football jig. I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit. And it worked right away this morning. We were on a little bit shallower rock than this here. We're on the dam now, and it's some pretty steep rock. But a little bit shallower rock. We're using a white and chartreuse square bill. Caught 4 pretty nice bass, one really nice one. Yeah, see if we can get another one on the square bill. Switch to a little bit deeper diving square bill here. See if we can pick up a couple fish along this steep drop here, hiding in the shade. All right, guys, I just want to run through some of the stuff that worked for me. It was an interesting lake to fish because I'd never fished a really warm body of water like that before. And then fishing a brand new lake from the shore is always a challenge because you've got no fish finder. You don't know if what you're doing is working. I mean, you know nothing. And starting from the shore can be tough. But the wind picked up, started blowing into the shoreline that we were on. So moved over on that shoreline, found some rock. And I was like, man, there's gotta be, like, you find rock, bigger rock. I mean, anything football, basketball sized and bigger, you wanna be throwing a square bill. So I grabbed the square bill. There was some moss because the water was so warm on those rocks, which definitely made throwing the square bill a little bit tougher, because if you hit too many rocks, you were going to get moss on your crankbait and it wouldn't hit it. It wouldn't run anymore. So there was definitely challenges to throwing the square bill, but I just kept throwing it. Maybe the football head jig would have worked better to keep me out of the rocks and still get those bites. I don't know. It's murky water, that big rattle in that square bill, they seem to be able to locate it. And found that little slack current on that point. I went back and looked at that on Google Maps, and you can actually see that the point like wraps around, and there was rocks that wrapped around, and it was breaking on those rocks. So there was a slack spot behind that and then the end of the point. And I actually caught fish on either side of those rocks, but it seemed like the majority of them were like stacked up on the rocks as it curled out there, and that's just where they were. The waves were breaking right there. I'm sure it was pushing algae or whatever in, and the bait fish were crashing on that, and the bass were crashing on the bait fish, and it was working. I mean, it was not a big pattern, and it didn't seem to be repeatable with the next rock point on either side of that one. I didn't have any luck. I think that one was just in shallow enough water that I could get down there with the square bill. The next one down was too deep, and the next one up was too shallow, too far out. I couldn't cast far enough to get to where it was deep enough. So it wasn't a big pattern. Only got 3 fish. Had another hit and lost that one just about as fast as I set the hook. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next week.